Was hanging out with Dro Montana, and I just jumped out the porch with Dirty Girl Bastards.
Sound like a fairy tale way I took on like a racket. They know they can't keep up with me. Niggas ain't on the drip and they can't shake it off. Everything that they do, I can do in my sleep.
Yes, sir. We got Dro Montana jumping off the porch with us today. What's good with it?
What's the deal?
Everything good. How you feeling?
Feeling great.
That's what's up.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what's up. Shit, you pulled up on us. You jumping off the porch with us.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's what I love to do, jump off that porch.
Hey, nah, that's what's happening. Nah, so how Atlanta been treating you so far?
Atlanta great. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up. And do you make it this way often?
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina, so this right here, this like, yeah, it's just a little 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive with that traffic. So
Yeah.
I be over here. I love it.
Nah, I can dig it. And you from Greenville, South Carolina?
Yep.
Okay. What can you tell us about your experience coming up in Greenville?
You know, it's a little country town out there in the 864. From my experiences, it's a little like crabs in the barrel mentality out there, you know. It's kind of, we ain't got too much on the music scene or none of that. So I really just got it out the mud out there until I made my way to LA where I reside now.
Okay.
So.
Word. And the West Coast, I mean, I know that's like a totally different experience culturally, just everything. What would you say, you know, from your experience so far in LA, what's like some of the biggest differences or one of the biggest differences that you first noticed when you went out there?
Everything. It's just like, growing up in South Carolina, I always dreamed big or like felt like I could achieve more out of life. And when I went there, it's like, oh, this shit for real. Like, it's here. Like, I'm seeing Lambos driving down the street and shit, like, just every day. Motherfuckers making crazy money, and it's like, all right, it's here.
Yeah.
But it's totally different. I wouldn't relate California to nowhere in the United States. For real, it's different.
Nah, that's real. It's for real, its own planet. And like you said, folks drive foreigns out there like they Hondas or like they Camrys or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nah, that's ill. So you bringing that big Virgo energy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I can dig it. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Virgo here too, September 1st. So I can definitely relate on that. And I just already know from, you know, doing some of my research on you that, you know, like you're really ambitious and, you know, not scared to take chances.
For sure.
What made you make that jump to go to LA? I mean, because that's a big move, you know, from South Carolina.
For sure. So I was like 18, and I was with a couple of my boys, and we was on a little trip in Asheville, and one of them kicked it to me like, yo, we need to go to LA for 420. And we did it, and when I went out there and seeing it and experiences, I called my mama like, yo, I'm not coming home. She like, okay. And for real, and so that day, I stayed out there, and I've been grinding and getting it.
Yeah,
sure.
It's ill because like LA will really do that for you, and like if you have an open mind and, you know, can move in a fearless manner, you know, a lot of us make that type of jump. You know what I mean? LA, I did the same type of thing. I went to LA. I'm from Milwaukee. I remember taking my first trip to LA, and I did the same thing. I was like, yo, I'm not going back home. Like, I'm staying right here. Like, just the vibes was ill. Being able to smoke, you know, more freely.
That's a big part of it for me, because after being the background I went through, being arrested so many times, it created that paranoia, and that going out there lifted that for me. So I was able to really just operate and flow like me now and stop operating in survival mode how I did coming up where I was from.
Yeah, word. Nah, I can dig it. So taking us back to Greenville, like what type of, you know, person were you growing up? Like what type of household did you come up in?
So I ain't had my daddy in the household, but I knew a lot about him. You know, I heard a lot of stories. You know, my mama did the best she could, raising me and my little brother. She was a single parent. We struggled, we went through it. We been evicted before, and I slept on the floor before. The days wasn't nothing in the refrigerator, don't know what we gonna eat, but I love that. They gave me my hustle and my grind. And I bring on my father, my daddy, even though he wasn't in my life, hearing the stories about him and the stuff that he did and what he accomplished, it like really motivated me, because it was like, that's what I wanna be like. That's what I wanna do when I get older, you feel me? Like, that's how I wanna rock. So that's how it was for me, just growing up. I definitely struggled, but my mama, we grew up in the hood, but my mama definitely tried to shield me from that. Like, she tried to teach me culture, and like, we here, but this ain't what I want you to do, this ain't what I want you to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And what were you into, like, at an early age? Like, what was piquing your interest?
So I was into basketball real heavy. That was my plan. That was gonna be my way out to, you know, I had some mishaps, for sure.
And it's ill because we seeing women's basketball, you know, is at an all-time high.
For real, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
Yeah, like, I know, like, shit, especially last year, like, I was watching the women's NCAA, tournament even more than the men's
Nah, for
tournament.
sure.
'Cause, you know what I'm saying? They was really out there
They
balling.
rocking. I love it. I love to see it. It's
Yeah.
well deserved.
Yeah, nah, for
And
sure. for
overdue.
sure. Like the biggest thing is that now, you know, they trying to get their pay, you know what
Right.
I'm saying, up so that they don't have to go overseas as much.
Right.
And, you know,
But that was my plan. I was like, they don't pay nothing. I'm gonna have to go overseas, like, you know. And that was like,
yeah.
But, yeah.
Word. So at what point would you say you jumped off the porch?
I jumped off the porch at the age of 14. Yep. So I jumped off the porch at the age of 14, for real.
And what were some of the, you know, circumstances that, you know, made you jump off the porch, made you, you know, step out and establish your independence?
Like I said, like growing up and watching my mama struggle and sometimes having to struggle providing for us and me just wanting better for myself and my family, it's just like, I ain't care. I'm going at it. I'm gonna get it by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So I started hustling at 14. Ain't look back.
And did you, you know, back then, did you have any big homies, any OGs that was, you know, like helping to guide you, you know, along the way or, you know, putting you up on game?
Yeah, my OG was actually my grandma.
Huh.
My grandma gave me the most game. She was the realest with me, you know, that's who I would go and sit and talk to. Because out of her experiences, out of people she dealt with and everything. So I would say my OG was my grandma. She gave me some of the realest game that I applied for real.
Word.
And ran with it.
What would you, if you could remember, what would you say is like one of the most vital pieces of game that your grandma shared with you that you still carry to this day?
Trust nobody, you know. Trust nobody for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Cause you never get too comfortable in this. You know what I'm saying? Love kills.
Yeah, nah.
Ain't no love in the streets, so.
Yeah, that's real. I was just watching something earlier and it was talking about, you know, like thinking and moving with your mind and not with your heart.
With your heart, right.
Because a lot of times, like, we make decisions, you know, based off our heart, based off of emotions, based off of how we feel. And, you know, sometimes, you know, that can put us in compromising situations.
Right.
You know what I mean? What would you say, or no, at what point did you, like, tap into, you know, your interest in music? Like, at what point did you know that you were creative? You know, how did that start?
I always knew it growing up as a kid. I just never pursued it because I seen a lot of people rapping. Like when I got a little older, almost into my teenage years, I thought about it, like I want to do that. But then I always had this thing where I didn't want to be like nobody. I never want to do the same thing people was doing. I don't want to wear what people wearing, none of that. Like I like to be different. So I kind of felt like I would have been following the norm by doing that. And it wasn't until I moved to LA and I just started moving around in Hollywood and just seeing how my vibe could control the room. And I'm like, nah, I got to start doing this music. I got to put something in front of this. So it wasn't until I moved out there in like 2020, I made my first song ever.
Oh, word.
Yep.
And, okay, so you moved to LA in 2020 during
I
the
moved to
pandemic?
LA when I was 18. So like 2019, I was finna turn 19.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 2019. And it was like at the end of that, like December, I'm like, yeah, I'm finna get into this. So like early January, I made my first song.
Word.
Yep.
And how much of a culture shock was it for you moving to LA? Like, what did it take a while for you to adjust to? I mean, like the highways with all them damn lanes on it.
Now traveling for sure and how that work out there was a little different, but you know, it wasn't nothing that like blew my mind too crazy. I mean, it's like, this traffic is crazy, but I don't know, I kind of adapted real fast as if I belong there for real.
Word. Nah, that's what's up. LA, you know, I feel like, you know, you can either get in there and really love it and rock with it, or like that shit can put you in a blender. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, I feel like with LA, I call that like my constant reality check. It's a constant reality check for real, because it's like, it's so fast paced and it's expensive as hell.
Yeah.
So you got to be putting that work in. And then you might drive down, you in downtown, you drive past Skid Row and you can see like, hey, keep on playing. We'll be right over here.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's a constant reality check and it's mad opportunity out there. So it's like, if you ain't getting to it out there, you don't want it.
Yeah.
But you got to put that work in. Ain't nothing gonna be given to you because there's
Yeah.
so many people out there damn near working for the same thing, like everywhere.
Yeah. Nah, it's real. And it's like on one end, LA is one of those places where, you know, it's like a fantasy.
Literally.
You know what I mean? And
Literally.
so, you know, from the beaches to the palm trees to just all the vibes out there. So on one end, it could be easy to kind of get caught up in that fantasy. But then on the other end, all of these things that, you know, may be a little more difficult to acquire are also motivation,
Right.
you know, for you to go in. Like how you said, like the cost of living out there and just, you know, how you got to move a lot different out there. You know, for a hustler, for somebody who really wants it, like all of those things that may scare other people can motivate one.
Right.
Yeah. What do you find are some things that motivate you and that, you know, keep you moving in the path of, you know, going forward?
For me, it's just knowing where I want to be for real and the things I want to achieve. And if I'm not there yet, that's what motivates me. It's like, nah, I got to work. Like, I can play later. And the playing that's going on right now ain't even what's fun to me. Like, I know how I want to play. And in order to do that, I got to have that cheese. So every day, I'm grinding. It's just, I wake up with it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing what I love for real. So it ain't like, oh, I'm dreading going to get up, clocking in or something like that. No, I do what I love. So I wake up every day happy, just pursuing it.
And you said that you made your first song when you were living out there. Did it come easy for you? Like, was the first thing you recorded? Like, was it something that you even put out, or what was
Yeah, I
that
put it
process?
out. I recorded it. I actually hated the song. And I was with one of my boys, and we went to Crazy Girls. And he like, sis, go play the song. I'm like, hell nah. He like, man, go play the song right now before I fight your ass.
Yeah.
And I went and played the song, and the reaction I got, I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm in Hollywood right now, in Crazy Girls. This how they react. And like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm finna keep doing this for sure.
Now, I already know another big difference about LA, the strip clubs, you know, out there compared to the strip clubs in the South. I mean, they don't even get naked out there in the strip club. Like, they just be wearing
Yeah,
like
they damn barely dancing.
Right.
Barely dancing for real. It's just a look.
Yeah, it's really like Grand Theft Auto. Like, the girls really be dancing like how they do on
Literally,
GTA.
on Grand Theft Auto. Literally, just rock it a little bit. Like they down there by the girls or something.
Yeah, nah, for real. But you say when you played your music in there, you got a good
I
reaction.
got a great reaction. I made a lot of connections that night, a lot of them with DJs. Somebody walked up to me that night like, yo, you got a manager that night? So just seeing that it was dope. And it made me want to keep going for real.
Word. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Now, back to, you know, going back to Greenville and you coming up, when you were in school, like what type of student were you? Like what was, you know, were you, I know you said you hooped and all that, but like, were you paying attention in school? Was this something of interest or?
Yeah, I used to love school in the early years, like middle school and everything. And in 8th grade, I got expelled from Legacy, which is my favorite school I ever went to. They got a big basketball program. A lot of people done been recruited to the NBA from there. And when I got expelled from there, I basically lost basketball for real. Like, I got kicked out the team and everything. I had to go to another school in another county. And I started late, so I really couldn't play there for real on the team. I could practice with the team and everything, but I couldn't play for real. So it kind of detached me from everything. That's when I really started fucking off, when I lost the basketball. Because that's really why I went to school and everything. I just loved basketball.
Yeah. Had you ever, and did you ever try to pick it up again? Was it something that you, or you just was like, all right, you know what, like, creative is, you know what I mean, being in like in music is, you know what I mean, what you want to do?
So I ain't started pursuing the music till after school. And when I went to high school, I was going to school called JMN. That's why I was playing for them, but they didn't put me on varsity, so it fucked with me because I never played junior varsity in my life. I played varsity since I was in middle school because of how cold I was. When they put me on that, it kind of messed with my head, and that's when I started going crazy, just hustling. I focused more on that side of everything, and that's why I started going to school. I started going to school to hustle. So I said, like, really fuck basketball at that point. Now I was getting money. Now I tasted that, getting real money. I was always getting money in school. I started selling school supplies, candy, all that shit. But when I started hustling for real, that's when I started tasting that. I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I'm like, I'm coming here, this the business.
Were you able to keep that lifestyle like away from your moms, or
I hid it great. She knew what was going on. She would come home like, I smell it in my house, I know what's going on. I'm deny. She could never pinpoint it. So with me, if you can't catch me, it wasn't me. You feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I was 15, I was in 11th grade, I got pulled in that office. They're like, hey, come here. I used to get pulled in the office every day. They would search me. They could never catch me. But this one day, I'm in ISS, they caught me lacking. And I had that shit on me. I had a gun, all type of drugs. But luckily, I was a juvenile, because that right there would have did me in. Luckily, I was juvenile. But that's the day she found out for real, and she was able to confirm it, because she had to come over there before they took me to jail.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience? What came from that?
I'm gonna be for real. I was so reckless at the time. I liked the shit. I was in jail, my ear turned, because I was just so detached from everything. Like, I lost my great-granddaddy when I was 11. That was like a part of like my fuck it phase. Like,
Yeah.
that was my father figure for real. So losing that was like losing a part of me. And after that, I was on that fuck it shit. I didn't really care. So when I went to jail, I was just like feeling like a big dog. I literally told myself while I was in there, like, I'm finna get out and try harder. So that time, I ain't learn. I'm gonna be for real. I did not learn.
Yeah.
I went by 4 or 5 times before it really hit me on some like, you got to do something different. You either gonna keep ending up here or worse. Them 2 things they say you gonna do doing this shit. So we got to figure something out.
Yeah, nah, for real. Because it's like, I'm sure like, you know, the first time you get caught, it's like, all right, let me figure out how to move smarter. Let me figure out how to.
And then I'm in Juvie, you feel me? So it's like a slap on the wrist. We in there watching movies, playing PS3, you know, they bringing pizza if you read a book and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I actually experienced what it was like in adult jail.
Word. And, you know, taking it back to Cali, you know, starting to record music, you released your first song. What was the song that actually let you know, like, I really need to take this serious? Like, what kind of, you know, gave you like that first spark or that first buzz?
That first song, like, with that reaction I got in Hollywood, like I was saying, like, it was from that day, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this shit.
Yeah.
And within 4 months of me rapping, I went and built out 2 studios. I was renting them out and everything. I just went fully on into it. I was putting together my own shows, all that, and really what slowed me down was when COVID hit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I kind of took a break when COVID hit to focus on the business side of the music, because I learned then, like, okay, this ain't just music.
Yeah.
This is more important.
Nah, for sure.
Fuck that. That don't even matter if I don't know this with the route I'm taking with it. Unless I want to sign myself away for real and be somebody puppet. If I don't know that, ain't no way I'm gonna get ate up.
Yeah.
So it's like having the game from the streets, bringing it over to this. I feel like all games the same. It's just different terminology.
Yeah.
I feel like real estate the same as hustling. Music is the same as real estate and hustling. I can apply the same game to everything. It's just learning the terminology of.
And LA was one of those cities that was shut down.
Exactly. So for me, it was a little different than like knowing that everybody back home in the South, like from South Carolina, they in the club.
Yeah.
We can't even go get nothing to eat.
Yeah.
They talking about the mask up, I can't do nothing. You feel me? So it was a little bit more extensive on that lockdown.
Yeah.
So I experienced that a little different.
Nah,
but
for sure.
I appreciate it because that's where I went and really locked in and started reading books, started watching YouTube videos, and just gaining knowledge on how to really do this shit for real.
Yeah. So you really took advantage of the pandemic, you know, like how folks were saying, if you don't come out the pandemic with a couple new skills, if you don't come out of here with a new hustle, then you done wasted your time.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And see, here in Atlanta, we was right here. We had the shop open.
Going crazy.
You know what I mean? We was shooting interviews and we was going crazy during the pandemic.
Yeah, still moving.
So it was crazy, you know, seeing folks in LA, seeing folks in New York that couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? How did, you know, having to stay in the house and then being so far away from family and, you know, your comfort zone, you know, your family, your friends, you know, everything that you knew, how much did that affect your mental, you know, going through that pandemic?
Honestly, I really adapted to it. And I'm so good at that from everything I done went through to the point it's just like I'm just good at adapting. So it didn't really like affect me too crazy. I just adapted to it, like I said.
All right, now that's what's up. And then I know like you ended up, you dropped your project, Trap-A-Holics.
Mm-hmm.
That was your first project,
Yeah,
right?
the first project.
Yeah, and how'd you get Foogiano on there?
Man, I remember hearing that baby mama ain't shit, and this before he got signed. And I told all my niggas, I said, oh, he gonna blow. He gonna blow. So I started pursuing him then. I kid you not, 2 weeks later, that's when he got signed and all that. But I was already looped in with him through Boom Man.
Oh, okay.
So I linked in with him right there. And yeah, I was a part of that right when he took off. So I caught him at a great time.
Yeah, word. No, I can dig it. And then Trap-A-Her, like trapper, but spelled Trap-A-Her. Can you break down the meaning behind that and what was the vibe of that project?
For sure. So I just say trapper, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to highlight how it is being a trapper, you feel me? But coming in as a female. So it's like the bar always being raised for me, you know what I'm saying? I had to grind harder to put my respect in, like to get my respect, you know what I'm saying? I might have got tried a little more, stuff like that, but I like to amplify it that, you know what I'm saying, I am a female in this game, dominating the shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I really put that emphasis on there, but the whole album really trapped out.
Yeah, and you like you get in depth like with your storytelling,
Sure.
and you know, and you know, kept it real personal, you know, too, on that project. Who were some of your inspirations musically, who even helped you to, you know, kind of know like the direction that you wanted to take in your music?
For sure, like, I grew up listening to Jeezy. Like, I'm riding around the car, my mama, she bumping that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love this. And then like, as far as personality and execution, when I seen Lil Baby come out, I related to him very well. I'm like, yeah, if I'm gonna apply that pressure, that's how it be. Like, and then Future, of course, you know what I'm saying, big influence, one of my favorite rappers for sure. So them three overall, I would say, influenced me the most in the music.
And what's your inspiration in terms of, you know, differentiating yourself, you know, from other female MCs and from other rappers, you know, in general?
Yeah, I just do that in general, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in the beginning, like I don't want to be like nobody. So I make it a point to not sound like nobody. I put in them hours to like work on finding the sound, and I play with different shit. So it's like, you can't put me in the box to say, oh yeah, she sound like this, or she sound like that. Like, no, I'm focused on creating my own lane and my own sound, which I have done. So.
And you have a strong message, you know, messages of empowerment in your music. What fuels that? Like, what, you know, makes you want to, you know, take that stance and be willing to, you know, just talk about things that other artists, even other female artists, maybe aren't willing to, you know, kind of tap into?
Honestly, that come with being me, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of me. I believe, like, you control your mind, you control your life. So it's just like, I feel like your mentality is everything. So I'ma always push that empowerment. I'ma always be on that type of timing and pushing positivity and everything, because that's what got me where I am today.
Word.
I empower myself, so that's the message I'ma put out too.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And I mean, like you said, you know, being in these male-dominated, you know, roles or fields, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like when you was hustling, you know, maybe being challenged or, you know what I mean, being tried. And I'm sure the same way, you know, in the music industry, like this being so male-dominated that, you know, it's important, like, for women to be able to empower each other and to be able to just even share some of those experiences so that other women and then other people in general, you know that they're not the only people going through that. I think that's what, you know, for me, when I was listening to your music, I could tell that like it's really relatable, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah. And that's the goal, you know what I'm saying? To be able to create that connection. That's why I use my words to paint the pictures.
Yeah, I can dig it. And I've been seeing you on tour. You've been on the road with Erica Banks on the Cocky on Purpose tour.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, like, what's that experience been like, being on the road with Erica and, you know, hitting all these cities?
So I went on the road with her, met her, great person. And how I like to say it, I ain't came off tour since. For sure.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up. And like, was she an artist was she someone who embraced you, you know, early on? Because, you know, with female artists, you know, like just the competition and, you know what I mean? Like how that can be. Like, was she someone who embraced you, like, as soon as you guys connected, or, you know, what's your relationship like?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, she a great person. And like I said, I was on a break from like COVID, and I told myself before I went on tour with her, like, I'm finna go back on this tour, and this is when I'm finna put my foot on the gas. And like, she motivated me to do that. Just watching her, I was on her whole tour, so I watched her every day, like watching her perform, watching how she moved, watching her team move, and it really that was my first time really being that close to that and seeing that firsthand. So it motivated me, and just seeing her, like, for real, how hard she go and how quick she can snap into that shit. I'm like, yeah, that's it, like, for sure. So that motivates me right now. I'm going super hard right now from being next to that and seeing that, for sure.
Word. Nah, that's what's up. What would you say is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned, you know, thus far? I mean, you've made a lot of, you know, big moves, you know, in your life to, you know, to change your life and to advance yourself. Like, what's one of the biggest experience that you've learned?
I'd say never stop. Like, just keep going. Like, only way you lose is if you quit. I wouldn't be here if I gave up or didn't believe in myself too. Just knowing and having that faith behind myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep God first too, because I move in a lot of situations and I had discernment, so it keep me where I'm at. But I would say, yeah, just keep going.
And I saw somewhere where you were saying that, you know, you found your purpose, and that purpose was, you know, for you to be able to, you know, use your platform and even create platforms to give other artists opportunities that you had given yourself.
Right.
How important is it, you know, for you to, you know, be selfless and, you know, I mean, because you still coming up in the game, you still, you know, building, you know, yourself. So, you know, most people even that are, you know, achieving like optimal success, you know, aren't willing to, you know, step back and, you know, help other people out. So why is that so important for you?
Honestly, like, it's a part of my plan because I think longevity-wise. So I know, like, I'm mapping out my end goal with this. So I know with me putting in that work myself, me going through it, me putting in that lead work, building the connections myself, I'm like using myself as the artist, as the muse for creating my own label. So that's the goal, is to have my own label to be able to empower other independent artists. And like I said, I'm going through it myself, so I know the feeling of not being able to have those connections, or knowing if I knew the right person or knew this or had this, how easy it would have been for me. Yeah. I wouldn't have had to maybe invest this much and go through these struggles or hit this wall right here if I had this. So I just want to be able to provide that platform for other people because, like I said, I experienced it myself. I know what that feel like. If I had that, I would have did a lot better, faster, you feel me? But everything happened when it's supposed to. But I for sure want to be able to create platforms like that for other artists and other creators.
No, I can dig it. And you're a self-proclaimed serial entrepreneur. Can you talk about like some of the other business endeavors that you have going on?
Yeah, for sure. So I got 2 clothing brands. One of them is High Above Society. The other one is Trap Worldwide. But I shorten it with Trap World. You see the pillows right here. I also am in the real estate. I got a bunch of properties. I do Airbnb as well. Okay. And I'm finna open up a few studios and creative spaces too. I already got the warehouses in LA. I just gotta start building it out and everything. But I believe 7 streams of income, how you become a millionaire. I never just had one leg on my table. So I rock with that. Keep going. I also got I partner my brand High Above Society with Jokes Up Ice Cream. I got a collaboration with them. I got a legal cannabis strain / brand as well.
Word. And on your new song that you dropped, Za 3 times, I saw that you was featuring your strain, Cosmic Cream. Can you tell us about that strain? Like what, you know, when somebody, you know, pull up and go to their nearest dispensary and cop that Cosmic Cream, like what type of experience are they gonna get when they smoke that?
Fire, desire, nothing but it, you feel me? So it's a cross with lemon cherry and OG, so it's got that candy taste with that old OG punch on it. That thing fire. Yeah. You're gonna feel it in your face, all that.
Nah, that's what's up. And that OG, that's that what I call that sleepy weed.
You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that heavy smoke, the pressure.
Yeah. So. That uncomfortably high.
Yeah, you feel me? That's gonna do it.
Yeah. Nah, I can dig it. And in your song Fairy Tale, in the music video, and Fairy Tale was one of my favorite songs that I listened to from you. But in the video, you had on a PRE chain. What's the connection with Paper Route Empire?
So I linked with them through one of my plugs, actually. You feel me? And I got a good relationship with Jay Fizzle. I actually got a part of that after the Dolph situation. So Dolph was one of my favorite artists too. I beat the trap up every day listening to Dolph. Yeah. That was like really heartbreaking. And now be a part of that and have attachment to that is great. I'm not signed to them, I'm just affiliated. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Nah, that's what's up. And Dolph was the first artist to ever grace off the porch. So, you know, that
yes, sir.
Yeah, you're in good company. You know what I mean?
R.I.P.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up. So with the collaboration with Runts, are you doing other strains or other versions of the strain, or like how does that work out?
Yeah, we have other drops, other strains. My original drop was just the Cosmic Cream. Yep. And me and LB actually just did this collab right here with the Plot Collection. Okay. And we did the Cosmic Chili, and we turned LB into Homer. And Chili is LB himself, so that's why we called it Cosmic Chili. This is our latest drop, our latest collab. That's what we're doing right now, and we got more on the way. Yeah. So you can always look forward to us staying consistent with it. Nah, and it's a team thing, so it's just like we all push each other's brand, each other's strains as well. So it's a consistent flow. I love it.
Yeah, nah, and I had LB up here and the Runts team. And
Yeah, Young Marley and all them. Yeah, shout out to them boys for sure.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And it was dope, you know, hearing them talk about just how, you know, they've expanded their brand so much and the opportunities that they, you know, give to other people to, you know, be able to grow in that world.
Right, and I love that because I feel like we missing that in our community. That's why it's my goal to do the same thing with the music, the same thing LB gave with his blueprint with the Runts. And it's just like, if we had these bigger outlets, we'd have less people being statistics of those two things, being murdered or going to jail and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's better for our community. I love it.
I can dig it. And you got a song with Boosie as well.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I mean, so you know, early in the game have been establishing, you know, a lot of, you know, dope connections, really strong relationships. For people that's out here, you know, trying to get in the game themselves, like, what could you tell them about the importance of relationships and you know, keeping your face card clean?
Hey, I just said this today, like, relationships and your face is more important than money. That is more valuable than money because it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. You could have $1 million if you don't know the right people and where to put that at, it's over with. So it's like, for me, your face card is everything. And that's big too in the streets. Your face card, everything. Like, you ain't got no good face, you ain't gonna eat.
Yeah.
And that's how it is in the real world too. Good face, take you far. And for me, it's longevity. I don't wanna just eat today. I wanna eat forever.
Yeah.
And I can't do that if I burnt myself out and burnt out them bridges and I gotta swim everywhere. So.
Nah, for real. Like I always say, like, relationships is currency.
For real.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's definitely more important than money because I know I've definitely gotten into more rooms based off of relationships and just remaining, you know, to be, you know, just solid than, you know, trying to pay your way, you know, to get into a situation or whatever. Because that money fizzle away.
Right.
But who you are, that remains, you know, forever.
Right, facts.
That's what's up. What else you got coming up? What else you working on?
So I'm working on my next project right now. Gonna be called Trap Never Close, hosted by Trap-A-Holics.
Okay.
So that's on the way real soon.
Yeah.
I also got a few features on there. Don't be crazy.
That's what's up. Can you talk about any features yet or
Yeah,
any
so I'll
producers?
get out one of them, you know what I'm saying? I'll go look for the rest of them, but me and Montana 700 just did a song.
Okay.
That's gonna be the first single I'm releasing. So that's on the way.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And what are some things that you do to keep yourself on a higher plane, on a higher vibration, you know, and stay motivated to keep doing this?
So I'm big on energy. I don't surround myself around stuff that don't fuel me. So I stay focused. I'm a focused person. I've always been that way. So it's like I said, it's not too hard. It just come easy. You know, so I'm doing what I love. So waking up every day, now I'm to the point where if I'm not doing that, I feel out of place. It's just like, no, you ain't working. Yeah. And I be on my ass like, nah, we got to work. So I just get to it.
Yeah, nah, I can dig it. I can dig it. And let me ask you this in terms of, you know, challenges and things like that you've experienced, you know, through your life, through the music industry, things like that. Do you find any challenges in terms of you doing music and your sexuality?
Not for me. Shit, I'm cool. Yeah. If anybody bothered by it, they got to live with that. Me, I'm great. I love it, you know what I'm saying? You know, it may be a little like, oh, you a female, or we got, you know, I get compared to Young M.A. a lot and shit like that, but I'm me, you feel me? I'm Dro. So that's what I'm giving them.
Word. I can dig it. I can dig it. You got any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out everybody, man. Shout out all y'all, you feel me? Keep doing what y'all doing, keep rocking, you know what I'm saying? Shout out LB, shout out Jokes Up, you know what I'm saying? Jokes Upski, we doing that. And for real, I'm gonna say shout out Erica Banks, for real, cause I'm telling you, going on that tour, that's what got me locked in right now. And shout it hard, y'all tap in.
That's what's up, that's what's up. Appreciate you pulling up, jumping off the porch with us.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit, show.
And you always welcome, you know what I mean?
Hey, yeah, I'll be back. It's just a start, it's just introduction.
Gotta establish a blind man. Gotta establish a blind man. Don't understand.